Hello and welcome to the Grandmasters League Game 2 between Dogao and Tim. We've already seen Game 1, and if you haven't seen that game already, then click down to the right now before you get any spoilers and see Game 2 before you see Game 1, because I know some people really don't like that. So I'm going to assume you've clicked away, and yeah, Dogao losing to Tim in that first game does mean that he is trailing 1-0. And he's going to be looking to win this game, of course, which is coincidentally his home map of choice, which is Continental. And we'll look at that in a moment. So, yeah, Dog really going to want to have to win this one in order to make it a draw. If he loses, then Tim going to gain 3 points, and that is going to move him up from last place. So we'll see how that one goes. Of course, if Tim does end up losing this game and Dog wins it, then that means it's going to be a draw and they both get a point each, putting Dog in second place right now, just behind the Viper, who is at the top with 6 points in the bag already. It's all good stuff, and yeah. So Dog playing as Vikings in red, and his opponent Tim in green playing as Vikings as well. They're pretty close to each other actually also, and this is a different continental with a little bit of a shallows preventing them from reaching each other. I think that is the only place where they can get over to each other, so this is going to favour Tim slightly, as Tim does like to wall, as we know. This area here isn't actually joined, so Dog can't get onto this mainland very easily at all. And Tim can, because Tim has got a join here. So this is literally the only place where they can cross and get over onto each other's land, which does mean that we're going to see big water battles, and we're not going to see much happening on the land at all, I don't think. There's also really big fish in the north over here, which is kind of cool. If anyone was to dock this or here, they could get a huge food boost from that, and probably relatively undisturbed, because it's likely that they're both going to dock down on this side at the bottom, because A, there are big fish, and B, that's a long way to go all the way around here just to get over to this little peninsula over that side. Tim, however, is a bit closer. He could decide to dock there, but he's going to know that Dog is on this side, and coincidentally he's going to probably dock on the front so that he can keep the pressure on really quickly. So we're probably going to see very big water battles today, and I'm going to fast forward things a little bit. They'll both be trying to get up to the Feudal age in a reasonable time. In fact, the timer is off, so I'll put that back on. And yeah, they're going to realise that this is the only choke point, and we'll probably see this get walled, and that's going to be about it. We'll see how it goes. We could see some transport ships coming into play. Dogao could build a dock and transport ship, or Tim could build a dock and transport ship as well, land some villagers over. That could work very well indeed. And there we go, the dock from Dogao coming out right now down at the bottom of the map. Where's Tim going to put his dock though? That could really decide how this game is going to end up going. We'll have to keep an eye out for that one. Where's it going to be? Well, he doesn't actually have a dock yet, so Dogao going to have this dock up first, and the fishing ship out first. Could mean that Dogao reaches the Feudal age in a faster time. We'll see how that one goes. It looks to me like he could be feudal pretty shortly. Though at the moment he's just gathering a lot of wood, because he ballsed up a little bit with his boar luring time there. And once this boar is in, I think he's going to be about ready to go up on 22 with the help of these fishing ships down here. Tim is still without a dock just yet. Oh no, there we go, he's docked at the back corner. So not a bad place to dock, less fish down here, or over here, but he has docked over in this far side, and they're going to be fairly far away, but not totally like opposite ends of the map sort of thing. So that's not too bad. We should see some interesting stuff going on the water pretty soon. It looks to me like Tim has managed to gather himself a lot of sheep right there. If we have a look, 3, 6, 7 sheep, and where is Dogao's sheep? He doesn't really have that many, to be honest. Having a look at their map exploration. Let's have a little bit of a gander at that one. Trying to lure that deer in there, I've just noticed, and kind of failing a little bit. The deer just does not want to go where he wants it to. It looks like he's going to be able to do it now, though, and get up to the Feudal age in a reasonable time. Quite a bit of map exploration, not really a lot of Tim's side being explored, but he has explored a lot of his own side, and I think he realises that this is the only way to get over to Tim's side of the map. Tim, on the other hand, quite a lot of exploration, but again, none on Dogao's side. He must realise that this is the way to Dogao's base. He's sending his scout over there now, as a matter of fact, and he may not realise that this is not joined, so we'll have to see how that one goes for him. Of course, scouting is so important to realise exactly what you're going to do and exactly how it's going to work for you, and yeah, so both of these guys are going to be going up to the Feudal Age very shortly. Yeah, I imagine very shortly. Looks like Dog's slightly falling behind a little bit on food there, and he's not got enough. He's desperately trying to get up to the food count here. Probably going to be dropping off stuff at the docks as well. He should just be able to reach Feudal in a matter of seconds. There we go, he's got enough, and Tim's going to beat him to it, which I was a little bit surprised at, going extremely heavily into wood. And then we'll see a big rush, I imagine, as I think both these guys will end up walling this. If they don't, then that's going to be interesting, but I imagine that is what's going to happen at some point. It's going to get walled, and the rush will commence as usual. I'm kind of hoping that we don't constantly see Viking wars all the time. We do see a lot of Vikings when there's a water map, and that's because they are so strong on the water. For those of you asking why they don't use Koreans, well, they don't have such good economy bonuses. They don't, although they get elite turtle ships, for instance, it's really a long way down the line before they can make the turtle ships. And to be honest with you, the Vikings are stronger on the water. Really, ultimately they are. So yeah, also the question as to why they don't make long ships. Well, in order to make long ships, they're not so good, really. You have to have a castle to be able to make them, and then of course once you've got the long ships, they're fast to create, but in brute force I don't think they're as strong as war galleys or galleons. So they're easy to mass, but they're really not that strong on the water against galleons ultimately. So galleons usually are the ship of choice. Sometimes we see fire ships. If someone's really fast up to the castle age, they'll go for fires, which makes a lot of sense. And sometimes we'll see demolition ships to counter fires. But in the Forgotten Empires, which is going to be released in December, we will see a lot more variation in ships, as fire ships have been given a little bit of a boost, and that means then that we'll ultimately see more fire ships and more demolition ships as the counter to that. So that's something that I'm quite looking forward to about the Forgotten Empires. And interesting. Dogao only with 2 docks at the moment. Tim already with 3, starting to pump out those galleys. And Tim is going to have a nice early lead on the water at this rate. Dogao walling himself across. And that's all it takes, 3 palisade walls to be a complete wall between them. And I think that's going to favour Tim quite nicely. Tim, of course, loving the walling, even going up with a stone wall there. He's like, I see your palisade, I raise you a stone wall. And he's going to chuck that one down in there, and yeah, so it looks like we're going to see a huge water battle, as there really is no opportunity to go for a landing here unless someone builds a dock on this top side and sends some villagers over. Could happen, but it's unlikely to say the least. Blacksmith going down for Tim just now. Dogao without one just yet, so we could see some fast upgrades from Tim going in with his galleys here, and his economy is set up pretty nicely to do a lot of galleys here. It's very, very heavily into wood, a few villagers onto gold, and he should be ready to pump out those galleys all day long. Whether or not he adds on a 4th dock, we'll find that out very shortly. For the time being, starting to mass these galleys up, and coming from 3 docks now for both of them. Dogao only just getting his 3rd dock up, and something tells me that he's not got off to the best starts. 37 population to Tim's 40, so Tim's starting to get a bit of a lead here, and I don't know what's really gone wrong for him. I think he had a little bit of trouble getting food earlier on, as we saw him struggle getting up to the feudal age there, and I think that's probably put him back a little bit. But for the time being, not really a hell of a lot going on. I'm going to fast forward things just a bit while things get underway. Maybe we'll see some kind of fast castling, but in comes Tim now with some galleys on the left, and he really is outnumbering Dog here. That's 6 versus 4, and Tim is looking to me like he's going to be able to take the water if he continues like this. He's got the advantage going in here with the fletching already done. Dogao with no blacksmith just yet, so I don't know what's going on here. Tim really with the upgrade advantage, with the number advantage as well, and this is where it comes to micro now. It's going to have to be very well microed, because you can't really just patrol galleys in. You've got to micro them in order to make them really effective, and that is what they're both going to be doing. Tim coming in with 3 more now, and he could really push that. He's probably got enough there to win him the water if he continues to pile the pressure on. The 4th dock coming out for Tim, and 4 for Dog as well. Blacksmith finally, he's realised that he's at an upgrade disadvantage, so he's going to add that blacksmith on, and for right now we're just going to see more galleys more and more galleys, and I'm going to be interested to see if anyone does dock up here and go for the fish. Would be a really good thing to do that, but I don't think either of them have the best scouting, to be honest. Dog's got an idea of what's on Tim's side, but he's not scouted up his north of his island, and Tim hasn't really scouted Dog's side at all, but he has scouted his island very well indeed. So got to say, Tim's score probably likely to be with scouting at the moment as well. If you have a look, it looks like Tim's probably got a little bit more, but mainly his score will be from these galleys, which are already starting to be massed up very rapidly, and we should see them engage very shortly. If Dog's looking at the scores now, he'd be a little bit worried. Tim's got a good score lead, a couple of hundred at that stage there. So Tim slightly in the lead, and Dog going to move himself in now. Into position he goes, and it looks like Tim really does have a massive number advantage. We'll see who manages to get up to the castle edge first and maintain that, but neither of these guys are really going full on or full out into this battle. They're just kind of hanging around, waiting, just waiting, and I think Tim's going to go up to the castle edge very shortly, but Dog has beaten him to it. Already going up to castle right now, and that is a pretty decent time for him considering the amount of galleys that he's got, as well as Tim's amount of galleys here. Tim's going to be up in just a second, and he's going to be a little bit further behind. See who can make it worthwhile being up into the castle age first. I think if Dog can get up to the castle age quickly and upgrade his ships and do some big damage to Tim, then he could really swing his advantage here. But if Tim could just hold back and keep his galleys safe before he gets up to the castle age, then he could be in a decent situation. He's definitely got more ships out on the water, with 25 for him, Dog on 20, so a nice little 5-ship lead there. And I've got a feeling that Tim, if he keeps himself out of harm's way, could end up beating dogao on the water. He just has got the number advantage he needs. Upgrades wise, well, we'll have to wait and see. Dog's still just patrolling backwards and forwards, really nothing going on here at all. And economy wise, still of course just 1 TC and mass wood and gold. Really not a lot to say about this game, unfortunately. Just waiting for the castle age right now and see what happens from there. I think Dog should probably push out about right now. If he wants to get to Tim just as his war galleys are upgrading, he should move out straight away. There we go. I think he's just about to go and move now. Is he? Nope. Yes, nope, yeah. Alright, so he's going to push out right now. He's going to have war galley just as he reaches Tim, I think. And if he can make the most of this engagement, this could be really good for him. Chris just reaching castle right now, and he's retreated away back to the corner because he knows that dogao's going to be chasing him down. Dogao now coming in with the war galleys. There's the upgrade, and there's Tim's dock, which is likely to be dead in just a moment because mass attack coming in from the war galleys here as Dogao takes out one dock. Tim going to have to rebuild, otherwise he's going to lose his advantage. But war galley from him as well. There we go, +2 attack as well, and both these guys neck and neck for upgrades right now. We'll see how it goes because Tim does have the advantage on the water. Going to rebuild that dock real quick, and we're just going to see a huge water battle. I called it at the start, and I think that's what it's going to be for most of this game, to be honest with you. We might see some more docks coming out for both of them, but for the time being they are both fully upgraded, not fully upgraded, they're both equally upgraded, and Tim has got the numbers advantage, so he's going to be chasing dogao down. He is going to need ballistics fairly soon. They are both going to need ballistics. That's a really important upgrade, and we already see that coming on from dogao here. So dogao with his ballistics could turn this around, but then again Tim also with his university up, and ballistics are 20% from being completed. So now as soon as we see dogao with ballistics, he's turned himself around, attacking Tim straight away, and now he can use patrol a little bit more freely. A little bit less micro is required. Same for Tim here as well, but it looks like Tim really does have the number advantage here, although dogao has the score lead, so whether he has or not, it's so hard to call. Making a demolition ship in there as well, if he gets that in, that could be interesting. Nope, not going to happen. Tim going to focus that one down before it can even reach his ships, and it looks to me like Tim is going to take the water. It's so hard to call. I really have no way of saying who is going to win this until it's over. Unfortunately, with patrol, the ships really do clump up together, and it's almost impossible to see how many is actually there. Tim quickly coming in from behind with more war galleys, and look at this, he's just upgraded careening, so he does have +1 defense on these guys, and that could really hold him in here. It looks to me like he's going to be able to actually hold the water and push dogao back. Dogao losing ships pretty quickly, and that +1 defense really did actually make quite a bit of a difference. pushing dogao right back, and that careening is really going to be a nice little advantage for Tim here, because of Dog still doesn't have it, and he's still not researching it either. He's full out making war galleys right now to hold his water. He can't really be upgrading careening. He hasn't really got enough resources to do it. So it looks like Tim has got a huge advantage. He's going to be pushing that now with more war galleys coming from behind, and careening going to be really helping him out here. So it looks like Tim's going to do a pretty good job. Going to focus down one of them docks, bring in more ships from behind. Dog going to retreat, not retreat, attack even, with all of his ships coming out of his docks there. And it looks like he's actually still got less ships. 14 for him. Tim on 21 plus careening advantage, which does mean that Tim is likely to end up taking the water here, which is not good news for Dog at all. There's no chance of a landing just yet. No dock over here at all. He's got his ship over here, but no dock at all, no landing either. And it looks to me like Dog could lose the water here. Could be really bad for him if that does happen, because he's got no barracks or anything just yet. He's adding in another dock as well to try and keep his galley production going, and it looks to me like Tim's just got too many numbers. He's up to 19 and Dog is only on 7, so the advantage is so huge for Tim. Dog gonna lose fishing ships as well, and if we have a look at the scores right now, look at that, Tim's score lead, almost a whole 1,000 ahead as he completely wipes out dogao's navy, and dogao really has very little left. Perhaps this villager to build a dock and go and land, he could turn things around, but he's probably left it a little bit too late, because look, Tim's already got an extra town centre up. He might already have 3 town centres somewhere. Dog only with 2 at the moment, and to be honest, Tim's eco looking pretty good as well. 85 pop for him, Dog on 78, considering how many ships Tim has though, they're probably about equal on eco actually. But yeah, Dog losing the water here, real problem for him, and unless he can get a transport ship over and do some damage to Tim on the land, then there is no way he's going to be able to bring this back, because Tim, of course, can easily go and land him now, and with the water control, he can gain the advantage of all these yummy fish. That's going to give him a huge economy boost as well. So he could be up to the Imperial Age in a reasonable time if he manages to hold the water. Looks like he will do though. Dog really, his navy, what's that, 6 ships there? There is no way he's going to be able to fight Tim. Of course, he's split as well. Half his navy on one side, half on the other, and dogao resigning just there, making it 2-0 to Tim. And that is not an outcome that I would have expected at the start of this. Going into it, it was clear that Dog was probably going to be the favourite, but Tim absolutely clearing things up there on the water, winning him that game, making it 2-0, and that means that Tim gains 3 points. He's not on the bottom of the league anymore, but unfortunately for dogao, gaining no points at all. He's going to stay where he is for the time being, but towards the end of the week, when all of the games have been played, dogao could find himself slipping towards mid of the table. Someone might just be able to crawl up ahead of him, and of course Tim now going to be in second last place, but he's climbing slowly. If he can win some more, then it could be good for him. So yeah, stay tuned tomorrow for more GML games, and as usual, I've been Zach, and I will see you next time.